The Church of Scientology has dealt with many high-profile defectors, including celebrities and former top executives. But this situation, this is truly unique. The father of the undisputed leader of the church quitting, writing a book, and hauling into public view an all-out war within Scientology's ruling family.
It's the summer of 2004, and there's a special event taking place on board the luxury Scientology cruise ship known as the Freewinds. It's a 42nd birthday celebration for the church's most prominent parishioner, Tom Cruise. Rocking out right alongside the star, the undisputed leader of Scientology, the chairman of the board, David Miscavige. But look in the background. That older gentleman playing the horn, that's Ron Miscavige, David's dad, who now, much to the chagrin of the church, has decided to step out and play solo.
What's the relationship between your son and Tom Cruise?
Tom Cruise thinks that David is the top Thetan, or top spiritual being on this planet.
The top spiritual being on this planet.
They're like the best of buddies.
In an exclusive interview with ABC News, Ron Miscavige, now 80, is speaking out about why he decided to leave the church and write a book about his own son called Ruthless.
Power tends to corrupt, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. That taste of power, I think, is what changed David.
Ron spent nearly 3 decades working in the Sea Org, the religious order of the church, where he says he witnessed his son's volcanic temper.
And David is backstage literally tearing me apart verbally for 55 minutes, cursing, yelling, screaming at me.
For 6 years, Ron lived on a sprawling Scientology base in Hemet, California, known as Gold.
And it got worse and worse and worse.
Ron blames his son for what he calls an intensely stressful atmosphere at the base and says over time the crushing workload, discipline, and lack of sleep became unbearable.
They may work hard, they may work really long hours, even longer than we do, but they enjoy it.
The church is pushing back hard against these allegations, providing ABC News with pictures of Ron at leisure, enjoying fancy birthday meals provided by his son.
He was working with first-class musicians in one of the best studios in the world. He had nothing to complain about.
The church sent us letters from Ron's former bandmates calling him lazy, saying he used ethnic slurs, was a poor musician, and a disgusting pig.
My name is Peter Schless. I'm a songwriter.
What's more, the church conducted its own interviews with people who used to work with Ron and gave them to us.
Ron was an embarrassment to me, personally.
Ron says these charges are trumped up. He says if he was really as bad as his former colleagues now insist, why was he right there at this celebration for Scientology's star?
And tonight on 2020, you're going to hear much more of Ron's story, what he calls his escape from the so-called Gold base, and the private investigators hired by the church to follow him for more than a year. Also, we have a correction this morning. In our report yesterday, we had a graphic that incorrectly identified the church attorney Monique Yingling as a former Scientologist. Ms. Yingling has never actually been a member of the church. She is, however, an energetic and longtime advocate for the church, and you're going to hear a lot more from her in a very rare interview tonight. Guys,
that's 2020-10. Looking forward to it. Thanks, Dan.